you to bring it up.
Okay, thank you.
I have not been pretty.
Thoughtful of you.
Because stuff like that happens to me all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Having that restaurants to me, like drop a fork on the floor.
I
You
hate
got
mine.
forks off the floor and eat with them?
Yeah, he does. That's what he said.
I said I hit my head, not I eat with them. Like when you're like under a table and like you come
You
up.
come up and hit your
Well,
head.
she was almost about to do that. So that's what it.
She
I
was
thought
about
you
to
were
hit
tell
her
the same
No.
thing.
But I hear her entire speech.
I heard only part of that. It's like, really? Whenever you're ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Just about. All right, this is Julie.
Alright.
Thank you. Today, I'm going to give you a glimpse into the future. Our future, unless we do something about it. This is a slide from the movie WALL-E. If you haven't seen it, it's about the human race becoming so dependent on machines and robots that they get lazy. They sit in these little chairs. They do not move out of them for any reason. It takes them wherever they want to go. If they want food or drink, they just say the word, barely stick their hand out, and a little robot brings it to them. They don't even take the energy to turn their heads and look at one another when they speak. They look at this little screen. You can see his face is here, his face is here, and that's how they communicate with one another. We don't want to get to this. But in our busy world, excuses are abundant. We make all kinds of excuses not to exercise. But we don't want to become like the people on WALL-E. I heard a story one time about a man who was complaining about having to get on the treadmill. He was trying to get into shape and doing his workout regimen and whining about having to do his running for the day. Well, he complained to the wrong person. His brother was in a wheelchair due to a hunting accident, and let him know he better never hear him complain about having to get on the treadmill again, because he would give anything to be able to do that. So what's your excuse? Our bodies need exercise. Not just our bodies, but our minds and our soul as well. So we'll be discussing those benefits today. When you see exercise as a privilege instead of a chore, it will help you to want to become a fitness fanatic. And it's not about being a size 6 or having a six-pack. It's about how it makes you feel. And there are also many benefits. Your muscles, your bones, your joints, your organs, they all benefit from exercise. The March 27, 2012 New York Times Health Guide tells us that even your bones are increased with exercise. When you do resistance training, it increases your bone density. And for young adults, it can be increased from 2 to 8% in a year's time. But it's also extremely important for older adults as well. It's not just your bones, but your internal organs are massaged and stimulated when you exercise. I don't know how else you can possibly affect your organs in a positive way other than exercise. Your heart is a muscle as well. Some of us forget about that. And to make it strong, you've got to exercise it. And I'm sure you've all heard the term, use it or lose it. Well, we can all move about freely today. But if we stop moving, we will stop moving. You've got to continue to move to be able to move as you get older. And our lifestyles, they really cater to a sedentary life. Most of us don't wash our own cars. A lot of us don't clean our own houses or mow our own lawns, things that were done by the majority just a generation ago. What do? We sit in our vehicles on a long commute to work, only to move to sitting at a desk for an 8 to 10 hour day, and then it's back to the car and onto the couch when we get home. We just cannot let this happen. Because it's not just our bodies that are at stake, but it's our minds too, because exercise does affect your brain. One thing that's great about exercise is it releases endorphins. That's a chemical in your brain that causes feelings of peace and happiness. That's something you can get from exercise that's legal, and it doesn't cost you anything. So it's a great benefit. And there's a measurable rush that occurs in your brain when you finish a race or finish a hard workout. It's a great feeling. The website Technorati has a study on it about mice that they had them regularly exercise for 8 weeks and then tested everything. Not only was their muscle mitochondria increased, so working the biceps, making them look good, but their brain mitochondria was increased as well, which led to a better cognitive reasoning. And in a study they did on monkeys, they found that exercise sped learning and increased blood flow to the brain, and they believe that this is the case in humans as well. It really is your choice. And it's not just about looking like this, and it's not just about the benefits to your bones or your brain, but the immeasurable part of exercise is what it does for your soul. When you try to be the best that you can possibly be, you are taking care of yourself. You give yourself worth. And the way you present yourself when you feel worthy is the way you tell the world how you expect to be treated. And when you are being the best you that you can be, it helps you not to compare yourself to others. Because when we compare ourselves, we're either putting the other person down so we feel better, or we're putting ourselves down. And that's not necessary. You just be the best you that you can be, and you won't feel the need to do that. And it helps you to be part of the elite when you exercise. CNN says that 7 out of 10 American adults do not exercise on a regular basis. So if you're part of that 3, it gives you some sense of satisfaction. It also puts you in a small group and gives you camaraderie with others that do the same. Many friendships and love connections have been made at the gym. You join a class, it gives you something in common with those people. But even if you don't do that, if you just show up at the gym on a regular basis and then you miss a few days, I guarantee you when you go back, someone will say, "Where have you been?" They don't know your name, they don't know anything else about you, but it's like you're all in it together when you work out. Me time. The Bible says to love your neighbor as yourself. Love yourself. Most of us don't catch that when we read that phrase. And a lot of us are even made to feel guilty if we do love ourselves. But you have to learn to love yourself before you can truly love others. And exercise is one of the things that people will purely do for themselves. When you take care of yourself, it makes you more open and accepting of others. And it really boils down to, we are 3-part beings, body, mind, and spirit. And if one is neglected, the others suffer as well. So today, you don't have to exercise. You get to exercise. Thank you.